Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we are going to draw some nail polish, and the reference photo I'm going to use today is from the Shiny Paint Challenge over on Instagram. I love doing art challenges. In fact, I started my own art challenge called Sketchbook Floozy over on Instagram. If you want to take part in that, I'll post a reference photo every week for you to follow along to, but I love to do other challenges too, and these brightly colored shiny nail polish bottles I thought were just beautiful and would be perfect to do in my brand new art creation sketchbook. This is about 5 inches by 5 inches, maybe just a smidgen less, and I am drawing directly on the paper without a pencil sketch using the new markers from Paul Rubens. They are, or Lightwish, they're kind of the same company or the same distributor here in the United States. But the neat thing about these markers is that they have 2 tones on each marker. Now this one's kind of weird because it's got kind of like a gray and a really pale yellow, but most of the markers have 2 shades of the same color. So it might be like a dark green and a light green, or a dark purple and a light purple, etc. Black and white, I think, are on the same one, and gold and silver are on the same one. But they have a couple different options. They have a 30 color set, no, a 60 color set, which is 30 markers, and a 48 color set, which is 24 markers. And I'll link to those in the video description if you want to check them out. I do have a review on this. I'm not sure which is going to post first, the illustration here or the review. But I mean, if you want brush tip markers that you don't have to pump, they are waterproof. Unlike the Arctic ones that will bleed out with water, kind of like gouache, these are perfectly waterproof. Not as opaque as more of like the bullet style ones that you have to pump, but you know, it's I think they're a little bit more fun to sketch with because you do have that responsive brush tip. So I'm using a couple different shades of each color in the bottle itself. That's why I figured that would be a really good way to test out these markers, because I'll need like a dark and a light of the aqua, and a dark and a light of the yellow, and a dark and a light of the red. I didn't really find a good dark red though. Unfortunately, I guess I could mix black in there if I wanted to, but they do dry pretty quickly, so you know, you really have to be on the ball if you want to blend them, because they're not going to reactivate like the Arctic ones do. So it just really depends on what you like and what you want in a marker. I did find they blended really well. Like if you look at the caps of the nail polishes there, I was able to get a nice blend and make them look rounded, which is what I was after. And I found them to be very easy to use, but I also really enjoy using markers, and I don't mind jumping right in with markers. Like when I'm doing Inktober, oftentimes I'm starting my drawing right with the markers, or I might do a very, very light, loose sketch with like a color erase colored pencil and then go right in with the markers. So I like that. I'm more of the kind of person that would do my line work afterwards at the end if I decided I wanted any. I don't think I wanted any on this one. I'm voicing this over after the fact, and I've sped it up about 3 times. So this took me under 30 minutes to draw and to color in. So it was a pretty quick piece, but it's also a pretty small sketchbook. So I like these smaller sketchbooks for when I want to do something a little bit quicker. And I set my phone, the timeout time under display on my phone, I set it to 30 minutes. So that's a great way to give you a little bit of a forced time limit. You can like draw as long as the screen stays on, so you can adjust your phone screen limits and go that way. Now the paper in this sketchbook is off-white. It's kind of an ivory color, so the fun thing about that is if I do use white for highlight, it's going to really pop against that background color. Some people don't like the off-white pages, but I like the off-white pages. It just depends. And you know what, honestly, it's not like I would say I would always choose off-white pages, because sometimes I like bright white, sometimes I like craft, like a cream or a gray or a tan. So you know, it just depends on what I'm painting, what I would prefer to use. But I don't find this to be offensive. I think you could do most subjects on a surface that's toned like this. Sorry about pulling my book down. I think because I wasn't narrating it, I was sketching it, and I like to look directly down over my sketch when I'm working, so I tend to pull the sketchbook closer to me if I'm not filming. And I've been doing a lot of sketching that I haven't filmed lately with World Watercolor Month last month, that I can sometimes be unaware that there's a camera there, and I might actually want to use this footage at some time. So bear with me. I think you can still get the gist of how this picture is going together though. I'm using some of the brighter yellow here. I did open the, because before I thought I was going to do the whole sketch with the 48 color set of 24 colors, 24 markers, and then I decided that I really needed some shades that I didn't have in that box. So I grabbed the 60 color box that has 30 markers. So I don't think you need both of them, but I don't think there's a lot of repeats between the two sets. So if you like the concept, then, you know, I think you could get both sets and not be too duplicatey. But then again, I mean, if you're only using them for accents, like over acrylic paintings, that might be overkill to have both of those sets. And because they are dual markers, like there's two colors in each marker, each individual marker is not going to have as much ink as like a single color marker. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're using this as accents on stuff, I think it's going to be great. If you want to do full paintings with them, I think you're going to run out of your ink quite quickly. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about picking these up. And I am just so annoyed with myself that I pulled that so far down in the frame. Hopefully I get my act together before this is done and I push it back up. Oh my word, I'm out of practice. Let me tell you. Summer, man. In the summer, we've had actually a really rainy summer, so I have worked quite a bit, but I do try to take more time off in the summer. If the weather's good, I try to get outside and go paint on location or go hiking or kayaking or what have you. I love the way the shadow looks on that aqua bottle there by just kind of going in there with that other color. So yeah, I get so used to sketching and not filming that I'm like, oh, what is that? A camera? Should I put this in front of it? You guys are pretty understanding, so I'm hoping that you find this, you know, you could still get some use out of this. When you're doing glass, a lot of times the glass is almost invisible and you're not really seeing the glass. You're seeing how light and color reflects and how shadows refract and how it bends the light. So rather than seeing the actual glass, you're seeing how it affects the lights around it. And yeah, and don't be afraid to go in real dark when you need to. I went in with the black and I blended it out with the red because I just needed that dark value and I couldn't get it with any of the reds that I had there. Oh, there we go. We're back in business, back in front of the camera. I love the thick bases, the thick glass bases on these because it allows the light to be magnified and catch. And I wish I put that eraser back under my phone because it's giving you a lot of glare there. But if you go to hashtag Shiny Paint Challenge on Instagram, you'll see this. I'll also link it. I'll link to one of the hosts so that you can go there and check it out yourself. That's one thing I love about Instagram is there's such a great art community and you can find so many wonderful art challenges. And I just follow art accounts, honestly, on Instagram. So I don't see any of the negative stuff I hear people complain about there. I just see the shiny, happy, artsy pictures and crafts. And that's my little happy space that I like to be on Instagram. And I can just scroll through. I don't see any politics. I don't see any nonsense. I don't see any nastiness. I just see bright, happy bottles of nail polish and pretty paintings. So there's my tip for you. You know, you gotta make your online experience work for you. And I do enjoy using Instagram for that matter. So I'm going in here now with this really dark gray, and I'm trying to get some of the shadows that aren't quite black, but are also need to be a lot sharper and a lot richer. And I'm adding that dark color over it. Some of the shadows are a little more diffused and a little bit less dark, so or lighter, I should say. So yeah, I'm just kind of fussing around. And you can see how I'm getting my head in there. It's like I said, if I'm not filming, my head is directly over the paper. I like to be looking straight down on it from time to time so that I can make sure I'm not distorting anything. And I really think it's important to keep a regular practice of drawing. It doesn't have to be in a sketchbook. It could be in loose papers. But the nice thing about a book is that when you're done, you can flip through it. And it feels good to flip through and see your progress and see all the things that you've made. Even if you have duds, a lot of people say they're afraid of messing up a beautiful sketchbook. If that's the case, then maybe you need to buy a cheap one that you're not going to be afraid about messing up, because we all have bad pages. We all make mistakes. I've got pages I'm not proud of. They totally went sideways and I just move on. You can, if it really bothers you, you can go over it with some watercolor ground or some gesso and work on top of that, or you can just move on and go from there. Sometimes you come back to a sketch though and you can fix it, and because you have had more experience. So when you go back to that drawing, you can be like, I've learned something since then and I can fix it. And there you go. There's a finished picture. I hope you enjoyed this. Please give me a thumbs up before you go. And until next time, happy crafting.